Hello, and this is, well, my collection. I don't call myself a collector, I'm sort of more of an obsessive buyer. When eBay came out, I just went mad and started buying all these things. So what I'm going to do, because I want to sell all of this, and I quite like to either sell them in chunks or find someone that wants to buy the whole lot. So what I'll do is give you a quick spin round, and then I'll, in more detail, I'll go into the particular ones, and over the next couple of weeks I'll specify in particular areas. So we have, of the transporters, which are car and trucks, we have 27 of those. I think these are really nice. You get the transporter with the car and a backup truck. In the UK, I think these are quite rare, and many of these I actually bought from eBay and they were shipped in from America. So these are absolutely lovely of these, and I'd quite like to see them all go off to the same place together, or in groups of 10 or something. All different racing teams are covered, complete in the logos, and there's quite a selection of them. And then that's from 1990s. And then we have, of the single cars, most of them unopened, we have 23, and they're all the Nascars with the different teams. Then we have the Superstar Transporter Trucks. I've got 11 of those. They're basically Convoy Trucks, but they've got the Nascar logos on them. Right, and then on to the Convoy Trucks, which I must admit were my favourite. I got a bit obsessed. We have 47 of these, and they come from the 1980s right up to the 1990s. Even though they're so old, you can still pick them up quite cheaply. Anything from 10 to 30 pounds depending on what model. This is one of the more expensive ones for some reason. People like this. And again, ones with boats and things on. They fetch better prices than just the plain old trucks. That's a good one. That fetches good money. And there's the horse box. So anything that's a little bit different gets a better price than the more plain trucks. Tend to be the ones that go for about £10. Even though, again, to have something that old in that condition, to get it for £10 is a bargain. So people just don't like the plain trucks. Don't know why. 40 years old plus, all in their boxes, all great condition. And here we have Skybusters. These are the Diecast Matchbox aircraft, and I have 37 of those, and they're from 1980 to 1990s. You can see many of these on my channel, and I'll put a link in the information box. I think these are a little gem. Not many people have found them. I mean, the boxes are well made too. Everything from helicopters to modern day jetliners, old-fashioned propeller planes, and early jet fighters. Beautifully made, all made of metal, no plastic on them, and again, quite cheap. Anything from £8 up to £20, depending on the model. So again, pretty old, and all in their boxes. Here we have, what have we got here? We have the Battlekings and Sea Kings. The Battlekings, they're from about 1975, and probably they're beginning to do quite well. Anything from £20 to about 40 I've seen them go for. One of the most expensive ones, and I was just looking and I saw someone did a buy now for 60, but I wouldn't say this is 60. I'd say this is probably maybe 35. The plastic is a little bit creased. The box is a little bit worn in places, and that all detracts, but in general that would be a lovely one for anyone's collection. And here's the howitzer, and it comes with a couple of men, and they really did put great detail into these. I think again these are sort of a bit of a hidden gem, and I have noticed they are beginning to fetch quite good prices, probably because of the military connection. Beautiful artwork on the boxes. And here we have the Matchbox models of yesteryear. Now you can pick these up still quite cheap, even though they came out in the 1970s. For some reason you can still pick them up quite cheap, but they're lovely little cars. The earlier ones went in these boxes, the cardboard boxes, and probably maybe £10–15 you can find these for. Some of them a little bit more. I like the artwork on the boxes. I think they did a wonderful job. And then at the end of the 60s, more into the 70s, they started repackaging in the cars in window boxes. And believe it or not, you can still get these for about £10 each, sometimes a little bit less, even when they're in perfectly mint condition. I don't know why. I guess these sorts of cars didn't appeal to children, and I guess as the children got older they still don't appeal. I think I bought them because I thought, wow, something so old and beautiful, so cheap. But as I say, I don't think they've gone up at all since I bought them. I think I probably paid between £8 and £10 each, and I think they're probably still pretty much the same now, which is a shame. So if you're a vintage fan, here's a chance to grab a complete set. Then, moving on, here we have probably some of them from my childhood, but it's what started me interested in cars. We have the Matchbox Superfast and regular wheels, and there's 200 of those, and they range from the 1960s up to the 80s, so they are very old, almost as old as me. Now I know I've rushed through all these very quickly, but as I say, this is a taster video, and I'll be concentrating more on the individual areas a bit later on. And if you want to see any close-up videos of these cars, you will see them on my channel, and I'll put a link in the box. At the front we have Corgi SuperHaulers. Now I've got 18 of those, and they're from 1985 up to 2000. I think they're lovely. They're very heavy. They're fully made of metal, very little plastic on them. Prices range from £9 up to about £20, but averaging probably around about the £10 or £11 or £12 mark. I think they're great models. Metal, die-cast, with rubber tyres in a nice box. So that's the SuperHaulers. Then here we have the Matchbox Super Kings and King size. Now again, these are a range of trucks, very well built. They range in prices, and the Matchbox Super Kings are from the 1990s, and there's quite a selection there. I like them, they're big. This one's the most expensive one, I think. It's a Ferrari transporter, and inside there's a workshop, a door opens, and there's two F1 cars that come down on a ramp. So it's quite a classy piece of kit. Well, it does show you. Yeah, it shows you at the back. That's what you get. But this will probably be at the lower side of the £50 to £80 because the plastic is broken. It goes very brittle over time. If anyone knows how to replace plastic and where to get it from, then I'd love to know. It's got the original price on there, £8.49. So that when that was made. So as I say, I've seen these go for £60 to £80, and yes, nice. Here's another one. As you can see, they're heavy, they're big, and they're quite well built. This one I don't think has been opened, but probably maybe £25, maybe 30. They do represent very good value. Again, overlooked, I think. You assemble the plane, just put its wings on, and off you go. This is another favourite of mine. I was looking at the price, and it's been reduced from £5.50 to £3.95. That's how unpopular that was many years ago. This will probably fetch maybe £30, maybe a little bit more. It's got opening lids, and it's got the tubes that come off and connect to the back of the tanker. But As with all these old Matchbox and Corgis and Dinkies, the packaging and the artwork is lovely. So many different ones with these, and as I pick this up, this feels very heavy. This has an extendable boom, and it's also got outriggers that pop out to stabilise it. See, lovely instruction on the back telling you what it can do. Good old Matchbox. Now, in the front we have the Dinky range. Now these Dinkies come from 1990s, and a lot of Dinky collectors don't consider them as real Dinkies because they weren't made in Britain, so they won't buy them. So again, these can be picked up really quite cheap. And they really are quite well built. Some of the boxes, plastic has gone a little bit yellow where they've been in the sun. The car is in excellent condition, and you've got, here's one of my favourites, the E-Type Jaguar. This actually comes in 3 colours. This is another very nice one. This is the Studebaker. Beautiful colour and superb quality. But funnily enough, this is probably only worth about between £10 and £15, more nearer the £15 because these seem more popular. Just give you a general idea of the cars. There's a whole selection of both American and European cars. And a lovely 3-pack. You've got a Ferrari, you've got a Mercedes, and you've got a Porsche 356. Very nice. They're quality cars, they're all metal, and they have rubber wheels, so it's the last of the proper die-cast cars. They don't have plastic bases or anything. They are, in fact, really well built. And you'll see them in my videos. For most of these cars and trucks and planes, you will see little videos I've made, because when I bought them, I put them in a video. Now, what else have we got? Right at the front, not in the camera view, but I shall point the camera down at them, we have 12 of the Corgi Bond cars. I think that's from about the year 2000 collection. They all have different working features, or most of them do. Some of them have missiles or skis that come out, and my favourite one is at the top, and it's upside down, is the Little Nell. Probably only worth about £10 each. Little Nell might be 20. Quite well built. A lot of them have features like missiles that fire, bits that go up and down. And moving round to this side, I have a collection of Corgi Buses. Now if you're a bus fan, you might like these. They range from 1978 up to the 80s, and I've got 16 of those. Now in this drawer here I have, these are vintage Corgis, and they do fetch quite a good price these days. Some of them £60, some of them £40, and beautifully made, and again lovely artwork on the boxes. If you remember Concorde, unfortunately it's got its flap missing, but the plane is beautiful condition, and that'd be nice for someone's collection. And of course police cars, sports cars, and a few luxury saloons. Vintage Dinkies. Dinkies always had a bit of quality. Now these are proper Dinkies. They're Dinkies from the late 60s and 70s. So there will be some collectors who would rather like them. Now we move on to the newer Corgis. These were probably 1990, year 2000. I'd have to check when I do more of an in-depth look at them. Again, these are probably quite cheap. These are probably £15 to £20. I think you can still get a lot of them.
but this would be a nice start to someone's collection.
If you're interested in any of these, watch my channel. You can contact me on the About Me page. It has my email address, and I can discuss, you know, what I'd be prepared to take for some of these, or if you show an interest and want to see closer details of them, I'm happy to do extra videos. But there's a good opportunity here for somebody to buy them maybe as an investment, because I don't think these will go down in price. They haven't shot up dynamically high. The older Matchbox have always fetched good money, but for some reason some of this newer stuff is not quite peaking just yet. So I think there's room for people to make some money and have some fun. Thank you.